Hello children, I welcome you all to the digital classes. Children, I know that you are eagerly waiting for the class. Today I am here with a new topic. Before we begin our topic, just look at the picture here. Children, what do you see here? Yes, aeroplane is flying. Where it is flying, children? It is flying in air, right? What is this, children? This is a parachute. Yes. So, where the parachute is flying? It is flying in air. Children, what is present inside the parachute, children? Yes, air is present. Children, look at the cycle. You are really interested to ride a cycle, right? Can you ride the cycle, children? No. Why? Look at the tube. Does the tube contains air? No, it is not having air because it got punctured. So, air is required in the tires. So, today our topic is air, winds and cyclones. So, today we are here to learn more about air, winds and cyclones. Children, we will try to do some of the activities and we will try to learn some of the properties of air. Children, air is present everywhere. Yes, to prove that we do an activity here. Children, we do our first activity and we will try to find out. For this we require a glass and a paper and a bath containing water. So, what we do is we just fold the paper and we will crumple it. Look here children, this paper, what I am doing is I will insert this paper into this glass. Now, what is present here children? Nothing is present and paper is inside, right children. Now, what I do is I will try to invert this glass and try to immerse it in this water. I will wait here for some time and then I will try to remove it. Now, what do I do children? I will take out the paper. Oh, look at here, the paper is not wet. Though we immersed it in water, the paper is not wet, it is completely dry. Why? Because the glass has air inside it. So, the air did not allow this water to enter into the glass. With this, what we can say? Air is present everywhere. Children, what is this? This is an empty bottle, right? What is present inside this children? Nothing is present. So, we said that air is inside. We will try to find whether air is present inside or not. What we do is we take this bottle and I try to dip this bottle into this. Can you hear sound children? Yes, you can see some of the bubbles coming out. Now, the water is filled in this bottle. What was present inside earlier? Air was present and when we dipped into this, what happened? The air comes out in the form of bubbles. You all heard the bubbles children, you all have seen, right? So, what we can conclude here is we have to remove air before filling it with water. Children, we will conclude that air need to be removed from a container before something else enter into it. Children, here we do another activity. We take colored water in the small plate, right, and we take a dropper here. What we do is first we dip this dropper into the colored water. Observe children, do you see any changes here? No change because air is present inside the tube. So, this water did not enter into the tube. Now, what will I do? I just press this holder here and just I will dip it in water and slowly I reduce the pressure. What happens? You see the water entered the tube. Wow, nice children, right? So, what we can say that we have to remove air before it get filled with water. Right children? So children, what have we understood from till now? We understood that air is present everywhere and it has to be removed before it is filled with something else. Right children? Here we go with another activity. Children, we take an empty balloon and we fill air in it. Right? What we understand that the air which is present inside this has exerted pressure on the walls of the balloon and the balloon expands. Right children? So, does the air expands more? We will try to find here. So, why did the balloon burst children here? Because the air which was present inside the balloon has more pressure when it is heated. Children, we do another activity and we will try to confirm. Children, what is this? Yes, this is a syringe. When do we use the syringe? Mostly the doctors and the nurses while treating they use this syringe. We do an activity here. This is the piston children. Okay. This is a tube and this is a piston and this is the nozzle. So, what am I doing? Yeah, I am pushing and pulling the piston, right children. Now, what I do? I just hold my thumb here and I will hold it tightly, firmly, and then I will try to push the piston. No, the piston is not going inside. Why? Because the air which is inside is exerting pressure and I feel pain in my finger also. Why? Because the air which is having pressure is exerting some pressure on my finger, so that the piston is not going inside. So, what we can say with this? We feel pressure on the finger. Piston do not move inside as air exert pressure. So, with this we can say air exerts pressure. Children, I take an empty bottle and this is a cork. What I do is, this is an empty refill having some colored water here. Can you see here? Yeah. Now, I will insert this into this cork, okay, and I fix this into this. I just put this in hot water. I have taken warm water into the bowl and I try to put it here and I wait for some time. What do we observe? If you observe very closely, the colored water try to move in the upward direction. Why? Because as heat is supplied to this bottle, the air which is present inside started expanding. You can notice the colored water rising upwards. Why? The air which is present inside this started expanding. What we can conclude with this? Air expands on heating. Children, here I give another demonstration to prove that air expands on heating. Children, we fixed balloon to the mouth of this empty bottle and now I place this empty bottle in the warm water and you wait for some time. What do you notice? You can see, yes, you can notice very clearly the balloon is inflated. What happened? The air which was present inside the bottle has expanded and this expanded air has moved into the balloon. So, what we can conclude with this? That air expands on heating. Is it not interesting children? Yes. So, you also try such activities in your day to day life, right children? Children, here we will try to sum up these activities. We see colored water moves up, right children? Hence, we can conclude that air expands on heating. Children, I have taken 2 paper cups and I tied it to a broomstick. This is a broomstick and you can, what do you notice here? If you notice, both the cups are in balance, right children? Now, what I do is, I lit a candle and I bring it under the cup, 1 cup. What happens? What do you notice children? This cup is moving in the upward direction, whereas this is going down. why this cup is moving in this direction children, in the upward direction? What made it to move up? The air which is present inside this got heated up and it is moving in the upward direction. So, with this what we can say that hot air is lighter than cool air. Am I clear children? Children, you might have noticed when we are constructing the houses, we make ventilators. Where do we put ventilators children? That is kept on the upper part of the wall. Why? The air which is present inside the room as we breathe gets heated up and this hot air tries to escape through the ventilators. So, that is the main concept of making ventilators in the top part of the wall. Is that clear children? So, we will try to sum up this activity here. We observed that the cups over the candle moves in upward direction. So, hence we conclude that hot air is lighter than cold air. Children, here I have taken a balloon and filled air. Now, what we try to understand in this activity is the air which is present inside the balloon has some pressure and the air which is present in the surrounding has less pressure compared to the pressure. So, what happens when I leave this, when I open this mouth of the balloon over this paper, what happened to this paper? Shall we try what happens and shall we look at children? So, observe carefully. Oh, all the papers have been moved away. Why? Because the air which was present inside the balloon has more pressure and that air has moved from the region of higher pressure areas to the lower air pressure areas. So, what we can understand from here? The balloon expands and the air inside exerts more pressure on the walls. So, the air from the balloon slowly escapes, that is from higher pressure areas to the lower pressure areas. Children, so we have done so many activities, right? So, we will try to sum up all the properties of air here. So, children, we will try to learn. So, some of the properties of air are: air is everywhere, air occupies space, air exerts pressure, and we also understood that air expands on heating, and we also conducted an activity to understand that hot air is lighter than cold air. We have learned so many properties, right children? Yeah. Now, how are these properties helpful in our day-to-day life? Children, if you are standing on the coastal areas and sometimes you also see the air is moving towards the water also. So, we call that breeze as a land breeze and the sea breeze. Here we will try to differentiate between land breeze and the sea breeze. Generally, during daytime what happens, the land which is here gets heated up, thereby the air which is present in the atmosphere of the land gets heated up and it tries to move in the upward direction. Now, what happened on the sea children? On the river water you see the air is cool. So, what happens? Air is less here. So, what happens? This cool air is moving into the land. So, the breeze is coming from the sea towards the land. We call it as sea breeze. Am I clear children? Now, what happens during the night time? During the night time, the land gets cooled up easily. So, the air which is present here is cool. And what about the sea children? This sea water is having more heat. So, the air which is present over the sea will be hot. As it is, the hot air tries to move in the upward direction, you can notice. So, what happened here? Low pressure area is created. Now, the wind from land is breezing into the river water. So, a breeze is moving from land towards the sea. This is called as land breeze. So, children, we observe sea breeze during the daytime, whereas the land breeze is observed during the night time. Am I clear, children? So, this is a movement of air from the high pressure areas to the low pressure areas. So, we will try to learn some of the effects of air here. Look at the picture, children, and try to identify what is this. This is a windmill. Yes. How the windmill is useful and how does it works? As the air moves with the pressure, what happens? This windmill rotates, and when the windmill is rotated, it is helpful in picking the water from the water bodies, and this water is supplied to the nearby fields. So, this is how the air pressure is useful in irrigation. Children, do an activity and we will try to learn the pressure of air. For this, we have to do this activity. First, we have to take a glass and filled with water. Now, what we have to do? We have to take a cardboard sheet and place it over on the glass. Now, I try to invert the glass and observe carefully, children. Hold the glass and remove the hand from the cardboard. Oh, is it not a magic, children? The cardboard is not falling down. Why? Because the air which is present outside the glass has some pressure. That is why the air is not allowing cardboard sheet to fall down, because the air is exerting upward pressure. So, we will try to observe and conclude here. The air present outside the glass pushes the paper in upward direction, hence the paper do not falls down. This is what we have observed from the activity, right, children? Children, look at the picture. What is this? This is called as wind vane. Here it is showing 4 directions: north, south, east and west. These are the 4 directions which are mounted on a pole, right, children? And you can notice a pointer here. What happens to the pointer? As the wind comes, the pointer rotates towards the wind direction. The wind moves the direction, the pointer also moves in that direction. So, this wind vane is helpful in finding the direction of the wind. Children, I will give you a project work for you all. Okay, look at this picture. This is an anemometer. So, what happens to these cups, children? The speed of the wind increases, this anemometer rotates. So, this anemometer is useful to find out the speed of the wind. Children, here I have made anemometer. You can look at here what happens. So, what is happening? As I am blowing air, these cups are rotating on this axis. So, this is helpful to measure the speed of the wind. Is that clear, children? Now, children, as we said, air exerts different property. When the air moves with high speed, we call it as wind. So, just try to learn here. We will define what is wind. Fast moving air is called as wind. What does the wind create? It creates uneven heating which is taking place on the earth between an equator and poles, and we also try to learn between the land and water. So, we will try to learn. What do you see? This is a globe, and from here you see the sun rays are falling. Where the more sun rays are falling at? They are falling at the equator region. This is the equator, right children? The earth is little bit tilted. So, more sun rays are falling at the equator and very less sun rays are received at the poles. The density of air reduces here, whereas the cold air which is present at the poles has the more dense. So, what happens? It tries to move in this direction and that creates rains, clouds formation are exclusively dependent on the air pressure. So, when the wind moves, you might have experienced children, during the rainy season you see the wind blows fastly. Sometimes the wind moves with high speeds which result in the formation of cyclones. So, we will try to define what is cyclone here. Cyclones are a form of violent storms on earth and different regions has different names. We call them as typhoons or hurricanes and other names are given depending upon the place where they occur. Children, we will try to observe how the cyclones are forming by seeing at this video. Children, look at this area, it is completely blank, right? What the student is trying here? He has taken two straws and inserted into the colored water and what is he doing? He is trying to blow air. You can look here, he is blowing air through one of the pipe and the water, the colored water has moved in a upward direction. So, the water which was in the glass has moved in the upward direction. When you blow over the straw, the water comes out due to low pressure formed inside the straw. As a result, the water from the glass reaches up in the straw due to high pressure. Hence, the increased wind speed is accompanied by a reduced air pressure, which is nothing but cyclones. So, am I clear with the concept children? Children, look at the picture and try to recall, have you any time observed such picture? You can just see here the cyclone is concentrated at the coastal area. This is the satellite picture and this is the coastal areas where you can observe such type of cyclones in the oceans. As the warm air continuously rises, the surrounding swells. This is what is nothing but swells and the water from the sea surface also comes with the air, thereby cloud formation takes place. So, this is how the clouds forms when the air is swirling, along with it, it takes water onto the land, that is nothing but clouds and rains, and if heavy it is heavy, it turns into a floods. Children, try to look at the video taken by the satellite. See how the clouds are moving, what happens, the air also moving and also you see the water is rushing onto the coastal areas. Children, here some of the factors which are causing the cyclones, look at here, wind speed, wind direction, temperature, humidity. So, these are the factors which are mainly responsible for the occurrence of cyclones. In India, cyclones mostly occurs between May and June and also sometimes we observe cyclones during October and November. Children, when the wind blows fastly, you observe certain destructions. Just look at here, see how the storm is carrying water and it is causing destruction. And you can just see the buildings and the papers and all the vehicles are carried away by the wind. So, is it not violent children? Yeah, it is violent, which causes great destruction. Sometimes heavy vehicles also falls down in when the human beings also get distracted. Children, you can look here, that is the water is completely rushed into the roads and you can see the car has damage and you see the violently blowing wind and you see some of the destructions occurred here. Here you see the kacha houses which were constructed has been washed away. and you see the water has entered into the colonies and it has disturbed the lifestyle of the people in the urban areas. Cyclones are creating a great disturbance for the transport system, and you see thunderstorms are also occurring, which is causing damage to the life as well as properties. You see some of the electric poles got damaged here, we do not get electricity and we face number of problems. So, this is what southern part of the India, this is the west coast children and this is the eastern coastal areas. So, most of the coastal areas are very frequently prone to cyclone. You can just see a cyclone is drilling here and it is about to attack the western coast of India. So, children, so cyclones are very badly created and if they are occurring, we have to be very careful. We should not ignore the warnings issued by the meteorological department through TVs, radios and newspaper. And we also should make arrangements to shift household goods, domestic animals etc. to the safer places, because the animals get affected. So, we have to move them to the safer places. Children, we have to pass on the information to others and we should ignore rumors. Rumors means people make some different rumors. Children, what we have to do? We have to switch off the electrical mains in our houses. And one more thing which is very important, children, keep ready the phone numbers of emergency services like police, fire brigade number, and also we should maintain the medical center numbers also we should maintain with us. Lastly, that is you have to pack essentials for yourself and your family in advance, otherwise we will lead to panic. Children, one more important message I have to give here is after cyclone we should be very careful. First thing is we must not touch the wires which are hanging or the electric poles, and we should be very careful. Whenever any cyclone occurs, people walk onto the road and create disturbance for the people who are servicing us. So, here we will try to learn some of the post cyclone measures. Strictly avoid any loose and dangling wires. Do not drink contaminated water, and we should store water for emergencies. Do not go out for the sake of fun. The young people, they go out and they try to play and they create lot of disturbance on the roads. People from low lying areas should evacuate the place and move to the safer places in advance. And we need to cooperate and help your neighbors and friends. And very important, what is that is, you have to follow the instruction issued by the IMD. What is IMD? Indian Meteorological Department. They are taking more efforts and they are giving the information 48 hours ahead. So, we should follow the instructions given by the meteorological department. So, children, we have come to the end of this session. We will try to recall what have we learned. Air is everywhere. The moving air is called wind. Air around us exerts pressure. Air expands on heating and contracts on cooling. We also learned that uneven heating on the earth causes wind movements. Cyclones may be caused due to winds traveling at high speed due to difference in air pressure. Information about cyclones will be given by the Indian Meteorological Department. Cooperate and help your neighbors, friends and the governments during the cyclone. So, here I have some questions, you have to try to answer these questions. Write down the properties of air. What aspects we have to consider while constructing a house, and we need to differentiate between the land breeze and the sea breeze. And lastly, what precautions should be taken during cyclones. Children, I hope I am clear with the concept air, winds and how the cyclones occur. For the better understanding of the concept, you have to visit the official website of SCERT. Children, we have come to the end of this session. So, I will meet you again with a new topic in a next class. Thank you.